Philip had been paired with a stranger. Tall, built, skin so dark it caught the afternoon sun like polished wood. Short dreads, neat at the sides. The man turned and looked at him with calm, unbothered eyes, and Philip, who had never once been shaken by another man's face, felt something shift in his chest. "I'm Success," the man said, extending a hand. Philip shook it. Firm. Warm. He didn't let go half a second too fast. The relay began. Philip climbed onto Success's back, arms around his shoulders, face close to his neck, close enough to smell sweat and something underneath it. Something warmer. Something that had no business making his pulse climb. Success ran like it cost him nothing. Like Philip was air. Like he had carried people before and would carry them again without complaint. They crossed the finish line first, arms raised, spinning to face each other, both laughing, both breathing hard. The laughter faded slowly. They were still holding each other. Faces close. Eyes reading things neither of them had said out loud. Philip's gaze dropped, just for 1 second, to Success's mouth. Then someone from the crowd screamed, "Philip! Philip!"
If you're coming across this channel for the very first time, please do well to subscribe, like, and share. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for watching the story. Now, let us begin the story properly.
Philip didn't sleep well that night. He lay on his bunk staring at the ceiling of the hostel, listening to 20 other men snore around him, and tried to make sense of what had happened during the relay. He was 27 years old. He had dated 2 women. He had never, not once, looked at a man the way he had looked at Success that afternoon. He told himself it was the heat, the adrenaline, the crowd. He almost believed it. Morning came loud and early. Whistle at 5. Parade at 6. Philip tied his white vest and stepped outside into the pale morning light, and Success was right there, 3 paces away, brushing his teeth with his back turned. He had slept in the hostel next door. Success turned, saw him, and smiled slowly. A quiet smile. Not the big, loud kind. The kind that knew something. "You ran fast yesterday," Success said. "You're heavier than you look," Philip replied. Success laughed, low, easy, and went back to brushing his teeth. Philip walked past him to join the parade. He kept his eyes forward, kept his face still. But for the rest of the morning drill, he knew exactly where Success was standing in the crowd without ever having to look. That evening, their platoons were merged for a lecture. Success sat 2 rows ahead. At some point he turned around, scanning the crowd for something, and when his eyes found Philip, he stopped scanning. Philip looked away first. But he smiled. Just a little. Where nobody could see. The food at camp was exactly what everyone warned you about. Watery beans, hard bread, rice that stuck together in suspicious clumps. But nobody skipped the chow line because hunger had no pride. Philip joined the queue on Wednesday morning and found himself standing directly behind Success. Neither of them had planned it. "The beans again," Success muttered, staring at the large pot ahead. "At least it has color this time," Philip said. Success glanced back, surprised, then relaxed when he saw who it was. "Philip." He said the name like he'd been keeping it somewhere. "Success." They moved through the line together, trays in hand, and without discussing it, ended up at the same table, corner spot, slightly away from the noise. They ate in comfortable silence for a while. That was the strange part. It wasn't awkward. It felt like 2 people who had already skipped the small talk and arrived somewhere quieter. "Where are you posted?" Success asked. "They haven't told us yet." "You?" "Same." He stirred his beans slowly. "Where are you from?" "Lagos." "You?" "Delta." He smiled. "But I grew up in Abuja." Philip nodded. He noticed the way Success's jaw moved when he chewed. He noticed the small scar above his left eyebrow. He noticed too many things and told himself to stop. "You're staring," Success said, without looking up. Philip looked down at his tray. "I wasn't." Success said nothing, but the corner of his mouth lifted. After that, the chow line became their quiet routine. Nobody noticed. Or if they did, nobody said anything. They were just two corpers eating beans in the morning. Nothing more. That's what Philip kept telling himself. The cultural night rehearsal started on Thursday and ran until 10 o'clock. Philip's platoon was doing a dance piece. Success's platoon had a drama. The practice field was shared, noisy, and disorganized, with different groups rehearsing in separate corners under yellow floodlights. Philip spotted Success across the field during a break, sitting alone on a bench, script in hand, lips moving as he read his lines quietly. He looked different when he was focused. Softer, somehow. Less guarded. Philip walked over without thinking too hard about it. "You're acting?" he asked. Success looked up. "Trying to." He held up the script. "I have 3 lines and I've managed to forget all of them." Philip sat beside him. Close, but not too close. "Let me hear them." Success read his lines. Philip listened. Gave him notes. Success tried again. Better. They laughed when he messed up the 3rd line for the 4th time. And at some point Philip leaned over to point at the words on the page, and their shoulders pressed together, and neither of them moved apart. They stayed like that, shoulders touching, voices low, for longer than the script required. At some point, Success turned his head slightly, and Philip was already looking at him. The floodlight caught the side of Success's face in gold. Philip felt something rise in his throat. "You should get back to your group," Success said quietly. "Yeah," Philip agreed. Neither of them moved for 5 more seconds. Then Philip stood, straightened his khakis, and walked back across the field. He didn't look back. Behind him, Success watched him go. It happened on Friday night, almost by accident. Philip had slipped away from the hostel during the late-night noise. Someone was playing music too loud, people were gisting, and he needed air. He walked to the back of the hostel block, behind the water tank where it was dark and quiet, and sat on the low concrete ledge. He had been there maybe 10 minutes when he heard footsteps. Success appeared around the corner and stopped when he saw him. "Same reason?" Philip asked. "Too loud," Success said. He came and sat beside him. Not at the far end. Right beside him. Their arms touched. The camp sounds were distant now. Music, laughter, a whistle somewhere. Out here it was just crickets and the hum of a generator. They talked for a while. About home. About what they wanted after camp. About nothing important. And then they went quiet, and the quiet was heavy, warm, full of something unsaid. Success turned to look at him. Philip looked back. "I don't know what this is," Philip said. His voice was low. Careful. "Neither do I," Success replied. And then, slowly, like a question being asked without words, Success leaned forward. Philip didn't pull back. The kiss was brief, soft, almost careful, like both of them were afraid to break something. When it ended, they pulled apart and stared at the ground. Philip's heart was pounding so hard he was sure Success could hear it. "We can't," Philip started. "I know," Success said quickly. They sat there in the dark for a long time after that. Not touching. Not talking. Both of them changed in a way they couldn't undo. Philip woke up before the whistle and lay completely still, staring at the ceiling. It happened. He had let it happen. And worse, he had not hated it. Not even close. He got up, dressed fast, and went to the parade ground early. He stood at attention, jaw tight, eyes forward, trying to put himself back together from the inside. By the time the rest of his platoon arrived, he looked completely normal. That was the one thing Philip had always been good at, looking completely normal when everything inside him was burning. He avoided the chow line that morning. Ate from a sachet of groundnuts he found in his bag. Told himself it was fine. It was one moment. It didn't mean anything had to change. Then Success walked past during the morning drill. He didn't stop. Didn't even slow down. But as he passed, he glanced at Philip, just once, with a look that was quiet and steady and completely unashamed. Philip felt his chest tighten. At the afternoon lecture, a corper named Bolu sat next to Philip, loud and friendly. "Guy, you know that you're Guy, the dread guy from Platoon 5? Philip kept his face blank. "Who?" "The tall, fine one. Success something. The girls in my hostel won't stop talking about him." Bolu shook his head admiringly. "The guy is just built different." "I don't really know him," Philip said. The lie came out clean and easy. But his hands, flat on his knees under the table, pressed down until his knuckles went pale. By the end of the first week, Success had become popular without trying. He was the kind of person that people simply gathered around. Calm, easy to talk to, quick to laugh. The guys respected him. And the women. The women were relentless. Philip watched it all from a careful distance. There was one corper in particular, Amaka from Platoon 3. Bright, beautiful, and very direct. She had started sitting near Success at every group event, laughing too loudly at things he said, touching his arm when she talked. Success was polite to her. Warm, even. And that politeness was the thing that made Philip's chest feel like it was being wrung. He had no right to feel this way. He knew that. He and Success had not spoken privately since Friday night. They exchanged glances during parade. A nod here, a look there, but nothing more. Philip had decided, quietly and firmly, that he was going to leave it alone. Let it die. Forget the water tank ever happened. Then on Tuesday afternoon, he turned a corner near the skill acquisition block and almost walked directly into Success and Amaka, standing close, Amaka's hand on his chest, both of them laughing. Philip turned around and walked the other way without a word. That evening, he did 50 push-ups in the hostel bathroom and told himself it was for fitness. Later, lying on his bunk, a text came through on his phone. No name saved. A number he now knew by memory. "You've been avoiding me." Philip stared at the message for a long time. Typed. Deleted. Typed again. "I'm just being smart." The reply came fast. "Is that what you call it?" Philip put his phone face down on the mattress and closed his eyes. He did not sleep until past midnight. Week 2 brought the interplatoon sports competition. Football, relay, tug-of-war, and track. The whole camp turned out. Energy was high. Noise was everywhere. Philip's platoon and Success's platoon ended up in the same track heat. They stood at different starting positions, and Philip made the mistake of looking down the line, and Success was already looking at him. Not smiling, just watching, like he was measuring something. Philip looked away, focused on the track. The gun fired. Philip ran well. He came second overall. Success came first, barely by half a body. When they crossed the finish line, breathing hard, the crowd surged forward. Platoon members grabbed Success, shouting, lifting him slightly. Philip stood a little to the side, hands on his knees, catching his breath. Then Success walked through the crowd straight to him. "Good race," Success said, and held out his hand. Philip shook it. Their grip held a second longer than it should have. Bolu appeared from nowhere, slinging his arm around Philip's shoulder. "My guy came second. We move." He looked between them. "You two know each other?" "We ran a relay together on day 2, Success said smoothly. "Ehen. That's why Una get chemistry like that." Bolu laughed, completely innocent. Philip laughed too. The right kind of laugh. Easy. Normal. But when Bolu turned away to celebrate, Success looked at Philip one more time, and the look said something that neither of them was ready to say out loud. Philip's jaw was tight the rest of the afternoon. Being this close to someone, in public, pretending they were nothing, it was its own kind of exhaustion. It was Success who found a way. Wednesday evening, he sent a short text, "Water tank. 9 p.m. Just to talk." Philip read it 4 times. Told himself no. Told himself it was foolish. Told himself he had too much to lose. His reputation, his peace of mind, his ability to look his family in the eye. He went at 9:05. Success was already there, leaning against the tank, arms folded. He looked up when Philip appeared but said nothing at first. "This is a bad idea," Philip said. "I know," Success replied. "Sit down." Philip sat. Success stayed standing for a moment, then sat beside him. "I'm not trying to complicate your life," Success began. "I just need to understand what's happening. Because I haven't been able to think straight since day 2 of this camp, and I need to know if it's just me." Philip was quiet for a long time. "It's not just you," he finally said. Success exhaled slowly, like he'd been holding something heavy. "I've never," Philip started and stopped. Started again. "I don't know how to do this." "Neither do I," Success admitted. "But I know that ignoring it isn't working." "We're in a camp full of people," Philip said. "Everyone is watching everyone. If anyone even suspects. I know. This could ruin things. For both of us. I know that too." Success turned to look at him directly. "I'm not asking you to make an announcement. I'm just asking if you'll stop running." Philip looked at him, really looked at him, for the first time since Friday. The short dreads. The scar. The calm eyes that refused to look away. "Okay," Philip said quietly. "I'll stop running." Success nodded. That small, knowing smile came back. They didn't touch. Didn't need to. But something between them settled, like two people who had finally agreed on something they both already knew was true. The fear came on Thursday. Philip and Success had fallen into a careful routine. Texts at night, brief conversations in blind spots, a shared understanding of when to look and when to look away. It was fragile and private and oddly tender. And then Bolu saw them. Not at the water tank. Nothing that obvious. It was during the evening free period. Philip had walked past the back of the skill block and Success was there, and they had stood talking for 10 minutes, close, voices low. Philip had laughed at something, and without thinking, Success had reached out and pressed 2 fingers briefly against his arm. It lasted 2 seconds. Bolu came around the corner and stopped. Philip stepped back. The space between them opened up instantly. Philip turned and gestured toward the field like they'd been discussing something over there. Success pulled out his phone and looked at it. Bolu squinted. "What are you guys doing back here?" "Avoiding the volleyball game," Philip said immediately. "It's too rough." Bolu looked at Success. Success shrugged, relaxed. "He fell last time. Embarrassing." Bolu laughed. Philip laughed. The moment passed. But that night, Philip couldn't eat. Couldn't focus. He sat on his bunk running the scenario over and over. 2 seconds, a touch on the arm, a man who might or might not have seen something in the way they were standing. He texted Success, "We need to be more careful." Success replied, "I know. I'm sorry." Then, after a pause, "Are you okay?" Philip looked at those 3 words for a long time. "I will be," he typed back. He wasn't sure if he meant it. But it felt like the right thing to say to someone who was worried about him. And the fact that Success was worried, that quiet, steady concern, was somehow the most dangerous thing of all. Because it made Philip want this even more, not less. The final night of camp arrived the way all endings do. Too fast and too slow at the same time. There was a bonfire. Music. People exchanging numbers, taking photos, making promises they would half keep. The 3 weeks had gone by in a blur of whistles and red dust and beans and rehearsals and secrets carried in the dark. Philip found Success near the edge of the bonfire crowd, standing slightly apart, watching the fire. He stood beside him. Their arms touched. Neither of them moved away. "Tomorrow we become strangers again," Philip said quietly. "We were never strangers," Success replied. They stood like that for a while. 2 dark-skinned, handsome, silent men watching fire, surrounded by hundreds of people, completely alone in the way that only 2 people keeping a shared secret can be. "I don't know what city you're posted to," Philip said. "Enugu," Success said. "You. Ibadan." A long pause. That's far, Philip said. It is, Success agreed. The fire crackled. Someone across the field was singing. Philip stared at the flames and thought about all the things he still didn't have words for. What success was to him, what these 3 weeks had cost him, what they had quietly and irreversibly given him in return. I'm glad it was you, Philip said. In the relay. Day 2. Success turned to look at him. The fire was gold on his face. His dreads. His jaw. Everything about him. I picked you, Success said simply. Philip blinked. The pairs were assigned. I know. Success looked back at the fire. A small smile. I still picked you. Philip felt something rise in his throat that he refused to name. They stood there until the bonfire burned low and the crowd began to thin. They didn't kiss again. Didn't need to. Some things are said completely without being said at all. When they finally parted, a handshake in the open, brief, appropriate. Their eyes held for 3 seconds longer than a handshake requires. Then Success walked away into the dark. Philip stood where he was and watched him go. And for the first time in 3 weeks, he didn't look away first.
Thank you for watching to the end. This is a story about 2 people discovering something real in the most unexpected place, a dusty Nysc camp, surrounded by hundreds of eyes, with no room to breathe and nowhere to hide. What makes the story hit differently is not just the romance, it is the fear, the stolen glances, the text typed and deleted at midnight, the 2 seconds that almost exposed everything. These are feelings that a lot of people carry silently, the weight of wanting something you were never taught to want, and the quiet courage it takes to stop running from it. Whether you see yourself in Philip, in Success, or in simply the ache of wanting something you can't fully explain, this story was written for you, and it is just the beginning. Kindly drop a comment of how the story touched you. Subscribe, like, and share. Also, to enjoy early access to stories and more stories, click the join button beside the subscribe to enjoy our membership perks.